In this video, I would like to outline my research methods and usage recommendations for the instructional materials I have created for the Outdoor Recreation Leaders Program and partners. During our client interview, Dr. Aaron O'Brien expressed a need for instructional materials that could be used by instructors in training modules for participants and outdoor leaders. I have specifically created 2 workbooks for the Tier 2 navigation module and 10 Get to Know You cards for the Tier 1 First Aid Kit. So in this video, I will go over the Topographic Maps workbook, the Navigation Apps Pros and Cons workbook, and then finally the 10 Get to Know You cards for the Tier 1 First Aid Kit that I created. So I would like to begin this presentation by looking at the Topographic Maps document. I want to look at this document because this is the workbook I used for my usability testing. So I had 3 participants. They ranged in age from their early 20s to their late 30s, and each participant had outdoor experience. 1 participant was an Eagle Scout, and then 2 participants had moderate outdoor experience, mostly hiking and camping. And I did make adjustments to this workbook based on their feedback. So to create this workbook, I synthesized several documents that were found in the navigation module in the client sandbox we were provided. My intention was to create something that is brief, but a brief survey of information covered in the module and provides participants the opportunity to take their own notes to help them remember the information. And based on my participant feedback, I broke down contour lines and provided more visual examples. The visual examples were very popular among all 3 of my participants. My participants also liked all of the areas where they could take notes, take their own notes. And then there is an interactive portion of the workbook, which can be discarded if you so choose. I will say that the participant who had the most outdoor experience, the Eagle Scout, he did not like the fill in the blank. He actually found it insulting, which is a direct quote from him. And so I do believe that more research is needed to determine if this is an effective way to retain the featured information, because my 2 other participants did enjoy the fill in the blank and did find it helpful. But as I mentioned, the fill in the blank portion may be discarded if you do not find it helpful. And then finally here on the last page is more area to take notes, as well as a blank space for participants to sketch their own topographic maps. The next workbook is the Map Apps Pros and Cons. Following Dr. O'Brien's feedback during the client presentation, I redesigned this workbook, hoping that it will generate more discussion during training modules that will challenge AllTrails' dominance as a navigation app, since it is not favored by national parks, as Dr. O'Brien pointed out. So in this workbook, I have provided brief descriptions for each app from the App Store. And in the workbook, participants can share their own insights about the pros and cons of each app and how they specifically use it while they are out in the field. I do believe that the ORLP and partners can collect this data over time from leaders and then can produce a more thorough document highlighting the pros and cons of each app and how they are best used in the field for your specific context of leaders using these apps in Nevada public lands. I also made 10 Get to Know You cards for the Tier 1 First Aid Kit. So each card provides a photograph of the object, some basic information about each product, a trivia fact, and an icebreaker question. All of the images are open source. Several are from freepik.com. I would like to point out that 2 of the images I have provided are stock photos, but and do have the watermark, but they were the best photos I found online that illustrated what the item is and how best it is used. They are for the liquid bandage and also for the over iPad. So those images can be changed out as you please, but they are the best photos I was able to find illustrating what the item is and how best to use it. In conclusion, I would just like to thank you for this opportunity to create documents for the Outdoor Recreation Leaders Program. I have carefully constructed these materials to the best of my ability to meet the required needs of the ORLP and partners. I have provided the Word documents, and so please feel free to modify anything in the documents that you would like to change so that they best suit your needs, your specific needs. And if you have any questions related to the style guide, a style guide will be provided. Thank you.